All right. Our next presenters are from INCOG BioPharma Services. They are Cory Lewis, he's the CEO and president, and J.R. Humbert, he is the vice president of quality. Since opening its 90,000 square foot facility, INCOG has taken on 3 projects, including 1 commercial prefilled syringe project. They're going to begin that this month. Their capacity is up to 40 million units per year. They can do vials, syringes, and cartridges. Welcome, Cory and JR.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Perry, thanks for inviting us here to share the story of INCOG, and certainly for the audience, happy to give some overview points relative to what INCOG is and where we're going. For those of you that are not familiar with INCOG, we're a new business that was founded in 2020. Specifically, it's a purpose-built facility, a purpose-built business with a leadership team that's been in the industry for more than 20 years, individually and collectively. Mostly in the pharma space and mostly within the CMO space within that sector. So as we look at what we're building here, certainly INCOG has built a CMO business focused on drug product service offering. As you alluded, Perry, we've got 40 million units of annual capacity. We've installed what I would consider a medium speed, flexible line, focusing on being able to deliver services in both the clinical and the commercial space. Very much a purpose-built facility, as I indicated, and very much focused on delivering high customer service experiences. Specifically, as we look at the next slide here, there's 4 pillars that drive and surround what we're doing around customer service. And on the left, you see 2 of them that we're very keen on highlighting here today, and that's speed and flexibility. If we just pause and talk about the facility, founded in 2020, we acquired our land in December of 2020, broke ground in January of 21, and by December of 21, we had completed the construction of our facility, relative to office space and really, finalizing the activities around our GMP production footprint. By May of 2022, Optima delivered our multi-use filling line, and happy to report, and we'll show you here in just a few minutes, we're in the final stages of qualifying our facility with EMPQ activities happening now, media fills, by the end of the month. And then ultimately, as indicated, we're moving directly into customer activities as we go into the tail end of the year, and that's going to be supporting both clinical and commercial. And in fact, the first batches on our line will be commercial oriented product. So very excited about where we're going and that speed of how quickly we've been able to assemble the leadership team, how quickly we've been able to assemble the team, broadly speaking, and then ultimately the speed in which we've moved and mobilized to build a 90,000 square foot facility, GMP ready in less than 2 years from the time of starting construction, is something I haven't seen in the industry in quite some time, especially throwing the fact that we're doing it in the middle of a pandemic. From a flexibility point of view, clearly a business that's built on providing both clinical and commercial. Roughly speaking, I would say there are 50 CMOs in North America, but really only 8 to 12 that offer the scale and the breadth of capabilities for which we're offering. And that is clinical, commercial, but it's also across the portfolio. Vials are certainly in our portfolio to be able to fill vials, syringes, and cartridges. And again, being able to do that at all scales. As an example, let's say a 2-liter batch of 1,000 or 2,000 units, all the way up to commercial batch sizes, north of 300,000 units are certainly being contemplated out of this facility. When you think of on the right side, risk and complexity, certainly being a purpose-built new facility, we're making an investment for our customers with best-in-class assets, best-in-class capabilities. This is not an old facility that we're retrofitting. This is purpose-built from day one. Not only the business plan, but ultimately the assets that we're installing. And the complexity, our goal is to help you get your product to market. And if we can do your phase 3 and move to commercial, if we can work with you over the 8 years of getting your phase 1 all the way through commercial, certainly we have the capabilities and the experience to do that. As I hand it over to JR, certainly open to some questions at the tail end, but really excited about where we are and what we're doing to differentiate ourselves in the marketplace.
Yeah, thanks, Cory. So we'll get into a little bit more of the technical details here about the facility. So our focus here at INCOG is really on sterile liquid products. So basically we can handle either vials, syringes, or cartridges. We have our biosafety levels. We can do biosafety level 1 and 2 products. We can do inactivated vaccine products in the facility. And what you see here on the bottom, Cory alluded to the team's experience. So when you think about the broad portfolio of sterile liquid products, this team has been involved with manufacturing anything from high-value biologics to small molecule products to even some of the COVID-19 therapies. So we have a lot of experience with being able to take any project and figure out, as Cory mentioned, that flexibility. How do we adapt a product into our facility, and how do we deliver a high-quality product? A couple of the other capabilities here, Cory talked about being purpose-built. And with speed. So one of the things we've done related to the quality system is we've really tried to create a digital quality experience. So for example, all of our validations are done in an electronic validation management system to mitigate the paper that goes along traditionally with your IQ, OQ, PQ process. And then from a quality system point of view, we've implemented the Viva platform. And this is truly across everything you might imagine in a quality system. So SOPs, training, and then all of your standard quality system functions, deviations, change control, CAPA. And not only that, and you'll see a little bit more when we actually go out to see the line, that flexibility extends to the customer truly being able to interact in the quality system. So many customers may be used to signing a lot of paper documents and scanning PDFs back and forth to approve documents. With the Viva platform, we're going to be able to have the client interact directly with the quality system and approve all those documents electronically and have secure access to their entire portfolio of controlled documents at any time. So really trying to make sure that the customer has no barriers to understanding where their documents are in the process and have that full transparency of the record keeping. So these are a couple of still images of the line. So Cory mentioned a little bit about, again, being purpose-built. So a couple of the really key features to me, also from a quality point of view, we do have 100% in-process weight check on this line that's built in. So you don't have to take units off the line and weigh them. So it's done 100% in-process control. Another really key feature is what we call here on the slide redosing on request. So if, for example, we have a unit that is slightly underfilled, the filling line can then have a mode activated to be able to essentially top off that filled unit. So when we think about high-value biologics, particularly in small-scale clinical batches, this is a feature that we designed explicitly into the line to be able to capture almost every drop of product that we physically can on the line. And what you see here is we also have the capability to do both bulk and RTU on vials. So again, it gives us a lot of flexibility when we talk about adapting to an existing customer's format or transitioning them to something new. But we also have the ability that if a product starts in clinical on vial, we can make it on the same line in later stages in a syringe or a cartridge to facilitate an auto-injector or some other type of delivery device. So we've really tried to accommodate the ability to scale with a customer as their product grows, or if they're ready to jump right into a commercial presentation, we can do that as well. And we also have a number of other support services. So we do have a fully outfitted chemistry and microbiology lab here on site. We also have our own sterility test isolator so that we can make sure all of the products manufactured in the facility, there's no questions about the sterility. We also have a stability testing room where we can and have installed multiple chambers to handle multiple ICH conditions. And then we also have, again, room to expand to do future activities of labeling, packaging, device assembly.
Yeah, and as we get ready to jump out on the tour, what we're going to show you today is our filling line that we're doing the final EMPQ activities on. Ultimately, if we have time, we can also show you our formulation suite. Again, from a purpose-built perspective, you'll see that probably 90% of the customer activities and or even regulatory inspections, we have a perimeter hallway that goes around the entire production block. So that transparency, being a purpose-built facility, you can see directly into formulation, filling. You can see into our autoclave area. You can see into where our parts washers activities are taking place. So again, very much a purpose-built facility with transparency at all stages of production. And that goes back to the hallmark of what we want to be able to deliver high levels of customer service. We're very blessed. We've got the right assets. We've got the right team. But ultimately, we believe the differentiation that is taking place here in the market is the level of customer service that we're going to provide our customers is certainly higher and better than we've done in the past, and very much a focus for us going forward. So let's go take a quick tour of the site and show you our filling line.
This is live TV, right? People coming and going in the facility. All right, so as Cory alluded to, this is our viewing corridor here. So you can see we have a number of very large windows looking into our filling line. We actually have two of our folks from quality control here that are working on performing some environmental monitoring right now as we're in the final stages of qualification. So as we mentioned, one of the really unique features about this line is these ready-to-use components. And so what you see here, if we come a little bit closer to the window, is you can see over here to my right, this is the in-feed, where the ready-to-use tubs go into the isolator, where we have automatic Tyvek lid removal and debagging. And then the syringes or vials or cartridges are taken out of the nest by a robot. And then the empty nest comes down on this conveyor here. And so then the operator will then move it over here to my left on the renester, so that when we have syringes or cartridges manufactured on the line, those syringes and cartridges will then be put back into a tub. And then the vials go out on the backside to the capper. So this allows us to be economical, as well as to ensure that because of the capabilities that we have on the line relative to rejecting bad units, that any syringes or cartridges, for example, that come out into the renester, those are always going to be good units. So any bad units will be rejected inside the isolator. And so in terms of the filling mechanisms that we have on the line, we have both a time pressure and peristaltic pump system. We actually have, it's kind of hard to see here, but we have a peristaltic pump that is outside of the filler to remove air bubbles that will help keep that filling pump primed while we're filling, again, to minimize any product loss or disruption in filling. So again, a very state-of-the-art line, the ability to transfer in components through RTP port technology, as well as the material transfer chambers that allow us to get, for example, environmental monitoring plates in and out of the isolator. We do have fully integrated particulate monitoring, as well as active viable air and settle plate technology on the line. Our formulation platform is dedicated single use. So we currently have both the Millipore Mobius and the Thermo Fisher single-use mixer equipment that we can formulate and then bring over to filling without having a grade change. So again, it really allows us to ensure that we're able to maintain the highest quality of the product.
So we're ready for Q&A. Harry, if there are any questions that we can answer for you.
Gentlemen, that was a really excellent presentation. Thank you. That was really good. Just some questions. So we have a question. Actually, we have a few questions. This comes from Jeff. Are you capable of filling greater than 30R vials?
Currently, our line is set up for 2R to 30R. So we have not, we do not have the capability to go above 30R on this particular filling line.
Okay, thanks. Here's one. You had mentioned testing, that you have some testing capabilities in-house. Can you expand on that a little bit more? Tell us a little bit about those capabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have in our analytical laboratories, we have UPLC, GC, FTIR, UV-Vis, USP 788 for particulate matter. pH and osmo, so a lot of your traditional wet chemistry as well as some of your biologic methods. In the microbiology laboratory, we also have a rapid microbial detection unit. So we have the ability with that unit to be able to do sterility in 5 to 7 days as opposed to 14. So that's a really significant advantage when it comes to batch release. And then we also have a rapid endotoxin unit, which uses cartridge-based technology. We can analyze 5 samples at a time, a 17-minute analysis time per sample. So again, really trying to design that speed and flexibility for our customers to be able to get these really critical batches released and out to the marketplace.
Okay, thanks, JR. Here's a question. This has to do with biologics. What category of biological safety levels can you handle?
Yeah, so we can do BSL-1 and BSL-2. Right now, we are not doing anything that has an OEL of less than 10 micrograms per cubic meter. So that's your safe bridge level 2. So that's really kind of the cutoff for us at this point with the facility design.
Okay, and then one final. What are your thoughts on dedicated equipment versus single use?
Yeah, so again, we've really purpose-built the facility to focus on single-use technology. Again, we have Thermo Fisher and Millipore Mobius right now as our 2 primary platforms. We do have the infrastructure to be able to do stainless steel if a customer needs it, but that would be a project dedicated decision that would need to be made at the time of the proposal and the scoping process.
Thank you, JR and Cory. Just a great presentation and a great story. You know, difficult times like what we went through with COVID kind of reveals the true character. And wow, just an impressive story there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.